All right, let's have a look at getting things started. And great job bearing through the difficult preferences video. It is something that is painful, but if you're going to be serious about digital design and getting into a program like Illustrator or Photoshop or any of those, you cannot be an innocent bystander and not really know what's going on underneath the hood. So I'm glad you paid attention to that video. And if you didn't, go back and watch it. I dare you. It's important. Be that better designer. Be that better artist. You can do it. When you have the power of knowledge, that makes you stronger, right? All right. So Illustrator CC. Here we are this is my window. If I open the program, this is what I get. This is what most of you will have, something like this, only mine has a bunch of other projects I've been working on. So we have some quick shortcuts here, new or open a file. You can also just go right up to the menu and choose new if you wanted to, or open, or look at your recent files and so on. That's pretty much all you can do with this window. So let's make a new document. A lot of the projects that I ask you to deliver for me are going to be a specific dimension and under a specific kind of resolution and color space. But I'm going to talk right now about all the different things that you can explore and produce just here in the new document window. Depending on what version of Illustrator you have, this is the most recent one, so it looks different than what it looked like 6 months ago. So depending on your updated version of the Adobe Creative Cloud suite, things are going to be close, but a little bit different. So this is the most up-to-date. If you can make your program and your application as up-to-date as possible, turn on auto updates, make sure your subscription is good. These are all really important things because the people at Adobe are always trying to make the program better and smarter and easier to use. So that's where we're at right now. I'm under recent on this top tab right now. So these are different recent documents that I've had. This can come in handy when you're doing the still life work for this class or a few other things. But we're going to just kind of jump past that now and look at some of these presets. And the presets are kind of nice. So they have a mobile preset. So what kind of documents do they have that are already set up to do design for our mobile platforms like our iPhone? There's illustrations, there's icons, and there's tablet illustrations, whatever. But right now it's just defaulting to iPhone, iPad, but you can view all presets and it opens up the Android, the Surface, iPad mini, and Nexus 7. So there are some hidden ones there if you just follow that. Hey, tell me more about the templates that we have here. And these are going to be set up so that they are in the proper dimensions and resolution and color space for these mobile platforms, which is really cool. I mean, it's really great to be able to not have to think about it and just say, all right, Illustrator, I need it for this. Give me that. For web, there are, I'll just turn on View All Presets again. There are a lot of different formats here for web page design and layout. And they're kind of targeting different screen resolutions for our computers. And so that's what, when you see common or web large or, basically you're talking about a pixel dimension. This common one is 1,366 pixels by 768. That means that, for the most part, people are using monitors and screens that have this resolution that is not on a mobile platform. So we're talking about computers, laptops, desktops, and whatnot. They've got specific, MacBook and iMac dimensions. And I think for the most part, my still life work that I want from you guys is going to be at a dimension of 800 by 600. So this is where that lives. If you click on it, over on the right, it tells you, okay, your width is going to be 800 pixels, your height is going to be 600 pixels. The orientation for it by default is in landscape mode, but you could change it to portrait mode if you wanted to. That means it'll be more vertical than horizontal. So that's what's happening when you go through these different presets and choose one. If we go to print, I'll turn on view all presets again. We have the letter, which is an 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper. And if I look now on the right, it's going to say 612 points by 792 points. Well, points don't really make sense for most of us. If you're going to be doing print work, we kind of think more about inches. So you can change that preset here to be inches. And now it makes a little more sense. Oh, it's an 8.5 inch by 11 inch piece of paper. I understand that. That makes more sense. So when you were to commit to this document, then everything will be in inches and it'll probably make a little more sense. You could also change it to a landscape mode over portrait, and you can see that that just swaps out the height and the width here, which is pretty cool. And one thing that is different is that our color mode is now in CMYK color, which would mean that we're intending for print via like a full 4-color press, which we're going to get into later when we deal with printing documents. But if I go back to web, you'll notice that the color mode is RGB, and that is the color space of our screens, and that's how pixels operate. So print and web have some differences. Mobile is also in RGB mode and in pixels. As soon as we get to print, then it likes to go to points. Film and video, and we'll be doing a little bit of this preparation too, has presets for HD 720, HDV 1080, 4K, 8K, which blows my mind, and so on. So if you're having to do preparation work for graphics for film or video, then this is a really great tab to come to. And again, we're back in pixels, we're in RGB space because we're dealing with screens, and that's what that is. And then art and illustration has some kind of handy presets for making postcards, or here's some more print work, the letter, the tabloid, which is an 11 by 17, the legal, which is an 8.5 by 14, so it's tall, and then there's some pixel ones in there too. So basically, any of these are good places to go to start, because either you're going to pick one that works for you, or you're going to get one that's close and start to change it. So if I picked web large, but it's not the size that I wanted because my assignment tells me that I needed a specific pixel dimension, then I just come over here to the width and height and I enter that specific pixel dimension, 1000 by, I don't know, maybe like 700 or something like that. Okay, so now I'm creating my own custom document. You should be able to feel comfortable changing the height and the width and changing your measurement from points to inches to pixels, or whatever it is that you think locks into your understanding of that space. So to talk more about what's happening over here on the right side, this field is called artboards. And an artboard, consider it a canvas, okay? So if I have one artboard and I open up my project, I'm going to have one canvas that is a 1,000 pixels wide by 700 pixels tall. I can have as many of those canvases in the one document as I would like. So if I went to 3 artboards and I hit create, there they are. So I have not just one canvas, but 3, because I chose that I wanted 3 artboards. The artboard is really critical, especially in some of our assignments, because I say in my still life assignments that, hey, I want you to do 2 still life pieces in one document. Create 2 artboards in one document. And these are the artboards that I'm talking about. I've created 3 right now. But if I close that out and I go back to recent, is it going to give me the one I just did? No, because I didn't save it. That's fine. New. There it is. There's the recent one. Boom, custom. If I change that to 2 artboards now, and I hit create, then it gives me my 2 artboards. So if we're doing the still life work and I say, hey, I want 2 still lifes in one Illustrator document, this is what you're going to do. So you'll draw 1 still life here, you'll finish that piece, then you'll draw the other still life here on that artboard, and you will have easily completed the requirements for that assignment. Some projects that I assign will require 1 artboard. Others I might require 4 or 6. So you have to get used to that attribute in the new document interface in order to properly move forward. So as far as the interface now for Illustrator, this is going to be real quick. We have a toolbar. So the toolbar has all the different tools that we're going to need, and some tools have tools hidden underneath them, right? It's not always what you see is what you get. There are some things that are definitely hidden, and we'll be touching on these tools as we go through the semester. We have a whole menu bar, right? All of these things up here. So the Illustrator menu is just whether or not you want to deal with your preferences like we went over in the last video, or you just want to hide it or quit it. File, or all the different file types of options that you have: new, open, close, save, print, export, import, place. We'll be spending a lot of time in here doing different things. Edit, copy, cut, paste, undo, redo, and there's various other things in there we'll explore as well. When you have objects selected, this menu is for dealing with those, whether you want to make transformations or deal with the paths. There's a whole menu for type and making selections. There's a menu for effects, how to view your work, showing and hiding different things like guides or rulers and that sort of deal. And then different windows that can pop up to help you execute different actions or access different properties that Illustrator has for our work. And then there's a whole help menu, and the help menu is awesome. If you have to, go ahead and use help to search to answer some questions. This little bar up here is our control bar, where the information, it will update based on what tool we're on and what we're doing. And then this bar over here is our Windows bar. So all of these windows here, not all of them, but most of them, are shortcut buttons over here. So if I want to do the Pathfinder, I could go Window Pathfinder, and it'll open up the Pathfinder window. Or once I know what that icon is, I can just go boop right there and open up the Pathfinder. Layers, opacity, and transparency. So all of these things are just quick shortcuts to our windows. And then obviously this is going to be our workspace where we do all of our critical work. All right, so there's your little intro to the interface and the artboards. Thanks.